It all happened because of what my friend said, which worried me a great deal. Even if you play, it is impossible to finish the game successfully as a saint. I pulled out my phone and opened the Midnight app. I saw the message "Welcome to Midnight." Firstly, choose a female character who you want to play as. My eyes fell to Yewon's Heron Saint. She is 25 years old. I noticed the line "Naivety 10. I wondered and chose this character. I saw the message whether you would like to choose this character. I clicked yes. I saw a message "Select yours love interest." The character Adam appeared in front of me. Then I saw the character of Eurasian. Next, my gaze went to the character Harayan. Zenin was next. Then Daniel. I settled on Daniel. His difficulty was 3 stars out of 5. The app asked me, "Do you wish to choose Daniel?" I clicked yes. I saw the light. Something unknown was going on. I felt a pain in my head. What the hell is going on with me? What it is? Something strange was happening to me. I woke up, and I heard a knocking. Saint Yewon was called out by someone. His Excellency Tantifict asks you. What? I tried to get up. Step by step. I looked in the mirror. What? I can't believe my eyes. What it is? I saw a message in front of me. You have successfully synchronized with the Midnight app. From now on, you Yewon's Heron Saint. You have to find 1 out of 5 male characters and reach a happy ending in order to complete the game. Oh my god. What? It can't be real. As the Saintess, you have sullied the name of Lunian. For your crime, I hereby sentence you to death. What? Oh my god. What happened? What kind of dream was that? It sounds like you had a nightmare. Drink some water. I had a dream that I have become that pushover character Yewon, and ended badly. You must understand what I'm talking about. About the end of number 5. I'm not sure I understand you at all. But you must not call yourself pushover. Me? But I didn't talk about me. I meant balance breaker Yewon. Hey, wait a minute. Who are you? Oh, Saint Yewon, you probably, while still half asleep. This face, I was horrified. I went to the mirror and looked at myself, and I felt uncomfortable. This face, I've really become a character from this game, but no one played this character because of her high difficulty. Yewon's Heron. I've heard of people becoming characters from novels, but this is the first time I've heard that it happens to the dating app. Is it really over? Am I really going to end up in the game I thought? Until yesterday, I thought it was impossible to end happily for the saint. You know who I am? I am Evan, Midnight player, with 530 hours of playing time. You must be out of your mind. You heard yourself. It must be a dating app, but her charm level is only 3. She is also a saint, and she can't do everything because it is dominated by High Priest. She has a lousy stamina on maximum morality and destiny. Yewon's Heron. Sanctity, specialty, be high moral, her charm and stamina 1 star each. At the lowest level. But morality and destiny were on top, but pushover was on the top too. Let's be realistic. How can she date anyone? She's really a dating simulation character. Or is it ultra heavy mode? Hold on, I'm going to successfully complete. Somehow, I must have fallen asleep in the library after that. In my dreams I heard the word synchronization. Or something else. Saint Yewon. Her stamina was as low as a fish's, and her charms were even lower. She's a total pushover. And a very frustrating character. This is very bad. The developers of the dating simulator Midnight received a lot of criticism for creating such an unbalanced character in the game. It's dangerous. At this level, it is impossible to achieve successful completion. I don't know if it was just a dream, but I distinctly remember how sword touched my skin. I can't just die. I have to develop a strategy. I must complete successfully. I started to figure it out. What was the main event? I dealt with this character and came up with a strategy to win. I was looking for a hidden script. I have to find him. My life depends on it. Exactly. Master of the Mage's Tower. I have to avoid him at all cost. If I come across him, I must have a bad ending. What kind of character I have to charm one? Who was the easiest? Daniel. Daniel was the captain of the Imperial Guard. Using my experience of the 500 hours of play, I created the perfect version of Saint. Date tonight. The clock reads 8. Just in time for the start of the first main event. It all starts with meetings with the High Priest, Saint Yewon. I heard a knock at the door. Your Holiness, the High Priest summons you. It's time. I bolted the door. Go ahead. I came to the temple. The priest told me that I was late. You summoned me, I asked him. Have a seat. May I ask, why did you call me? I'm tired. You had a rather rebellious mood today. Of course, you are the main villain in the game. I don't have to be diligent with you. But the time to take care of it. In any case, after all, we need you to went to the palace for the festival and conquered the heart of the prince. The part that's coming up, where the choices began to disappoint. I saw in front of me, selection plate. What should I say to him? Agree, or use this drug? I'm not Yewon anyway. I remembered this. What? The priest asked. I made a decision, use it or not. Yewon, shouted the priest. How dare you disobey me? Yes, I said. I don't need drugs like this, because I'm not interested in winning the heart of the prince. What? The priest said. I'm leaving. May the blessings of the Lunium be upon you. Nothing good would come of it. If I went from the temple, is a shortcut to a bad ending. I'll just leave. Imperial guards on the way to escort me to the castle. And their captain, Daniel. It's the first character whom I have to charm. The bells were ringing in the temple. Thus welcomed the Imperial Guard, who arrived at the temple. The door swung open, and a vanished heron came out, accompanied by the High Priest. Daniel kneels and greeted Yewon. He introduced himself. My name is Daniel Kiryarin. This year I was appointed captain of the Imperial Guard. The Emperor has asked me personally to escort you to the castle. Yes, I said. Should I tell him to make it go up? I thought to myself. I was kind of embarrassed. But as soon as I wanted to say something, a priest stood in front of me. What the heck, I thought to myself. I will no longer allow Daniel to kneel before the priest. Please come up, Sir Daniel. That's what I said. Thank you for your mercy, Saint Yewon. I heard you followed in the footsteps of the late count and became captain of the guard. Congratulations, said the priest. Thank you, Your Excellency, said Daniel. Well, please escort Yewon to the palace safely. The priest squeezed Yewon's shoulder, so she was in pain, and pushed her in the shoulder. Daniel escorted Yewon to the carriage. The priest tensed up, and I got nervous. If everything goes according to his plan. The carriage began its movement. Daniel and Yewon rode in a carriage escorted by the Imperial Guard through the streets of this city. Awkwardness hung between them. Yewon didn't know where to start the conversation, and Daniel was afraid to even talk to her, as it was preceded by the holiest. He was quiet for a while. Yewon began to worry. What should she say to Daniel? Daniel was also visibly nervous. The silence was heating up the atmosphere. Only the following could be heard: the clanking of horses' hooves. Everyone must be very busy. I squeezed out of myself, and immediately felt uncomfortable. Daniel answered yes. Of course, N was visibly tense. If I could go outside, only on special events. If it were me, I would have run away a long time ago. Pardon? A discouraged Daniel asked. I'm noticeably tense, too, and drops of sweat even appeared on my forehead. I meant, if I were more immature, I would have done it. I tried to get out of it. Ah yes, said Daniel. I need to think better before I say anything. I thought to myself. The horses have stopped. Captain, someone called out. We have a problem. I think you have to go outside for a moment. What happened? Daniel asked and looked out from the carriage. He saw a crowd of people in the street, who shouted, Your Holiness, Saint Yewon, came from the crowd. Look at us, please. We love you. This character is footballed by all the male characters in the game, like a soccer ball. But people saw her as an idol. I apologize from your sanctity, said Daniel. The crowd kept shouting, I have to take extra measures for your safety. People blocked the road. And that they should blame themselves, I said. The Knights of the Guard had a hard time. Now they were trying with all their might to disperse the crowd, in order for the carriage to pass on. Daniel said that reinforcements should be arriving soon. But I didn't listen to him. I opened the door from the carriage, looked out. There was silence all round. Everyone was looking at me in awe. Everyone. Be quiet. I asked Dan close the carriage doors. The crowd fell silent and looked at the carriage in surprise. Surprised Daniel also looked at me. I have to do something about my popularity first. It's good to have people supporting you. But because of this popularity I can't escape from the temple. High priest and Joe's this. I am a bargaining chip in his hands. And the high priest is trying to use me in the struggle against the Imperial family. I have to do this first. To be kicked out of the temple, a scandal would be the most appropriate and effective way. Our carriage has moved on, and after a while we arrived at the palace. Daniel met me at the carriage with his hand outstretched, but I just bailed and went forward. Surprised Daniel looked after me. What's with the atmosphere around here, I thought. The astonished crowd looked at me. The maids began to whisper and look at me in wonder. What was that all about? Thought a guy named Grand Duke who met me. Grand Duke is a character which has a lot of dialogue, but is not even a love interest. The road was too long, Your Highness. How did I know how to greet high society? I thought to myself. The Emperor is waiting for you inside. Oh, I get it, I said. Okay then, I'm off. Take care. Take care. Grand Duke was in shock. What just happened in the first place? I entered the palace. When I saw the Emperor, I greeted him with a curtsy. I am honored to welcome the esteemed Emperor chosen by Lunium. I remembered all the important dialogues and greetings in the game. You can raise your head, Holy Vanisus, said the Emperor and looked at Yvanes. I was surprised. His eyes are purple and looked very unnatural. I understand that it's just the game settings, but to see it in person, very different things. Thank you for the honor that you come here every year, said the Emperor. Will you visit Mage's Tower this afternoon? Not the Mage's Tower, I thought. Master of the Mage's Tower, it's number one love interest, whom I must avoid by any means necessary. In the scenario, the first thing to happen when Evanis arrives at the palace, she visits the Mage's Tower, but I didn't need it. I felt bad. Visiting the Mage's Tower is an express ticket to a bad ending. I really didn't want to be eaten by Master's pet. I didn't want that ending. Emperor, call me a doctor. I feel very ill. The doctor came and examined me. He said nothing serious about your health. The road must have taken a lot of energy. Cool, all thanks to my low stamina. By all means, I will have to go to the Mage Tower within 2 days. It doesn't matter what I look like. I have to follow the way of Daniel. He is the most normal in the game, but he is also a deeply religious man. And maybe he won't look at holiness as a woman. How he will feel if I start flirting with him. But I even forgot what it was like to be with a man. I was single for 25 years. I heard a knock on the door. Your Sanctity, we are done. I was dressed in a beautiful dress. The maids looked at me with enthusiasm. You are so beautiful. We are honored to see your face in person. What difference does it make to be beautiful if it's someone else's face? But it's still very beautiful. There was another knock on the door. Saint Yvanes, your escort has arrived. Daniel stood in the garden and thought that he attends temple every day. But I've seen Yvanes just a few times. Daniel is thinking about Yvanes, that it was different from what people said about her. Daniel looked and saw Yvanes in front of him. Your Sanctity, is that you? He was surprised. Yes, I said. I kept you waiting. Where's your veil? He asked embarrassedly. I began to feel uncomfortable breathing, and I took it off. I told him, I know that the creepy priest won't let me go just like that, but I don't care. Ever since I made the decision to leave the temple, I think I'll be safe for a month while I am in the palace. In that time, I have to figure out a way to how not to go back to the temple. Well, let's go. I turned to Daniel and went forward, but froze. Daniel was puzzled. And where exactly are we going? I asked. I'm sure that the way that I remembered was that way. Is this a glitch? His feelings of orientation are as bad as mine, but it wasn't as obvious. A message popped up. You have entered a hidden location in the game. System messages played periodically in my head. I saw a palace in the distance. There was not a single servant in this part of the castle. As far as I know, there is only one such place. The odds are low, but I don't want to meet him. I think the best thing would be to go back there where we came from. I haven't been to the palace a long time ago, and I don't remember the exact path. I suggested he follow his instincts. We will go in that direction in which you will feel. Well, what did Daniel say? And wondered. Sir Daniel, I told him. And I thought to myself, why he avoids contact with me and does not look at me? It's weird. Daniel replied, but I can't feel anything around you. What does he mean by that? Does this mean that someone like him doesn't want to feel anything around me, or even communicate with me? But I don't even understand why. Why does this happen? It would surely be strange if I didn't attend my own welcome party. I said to Daniel. I heard a crunch from the bushes, and a servant appeared from there. There are people here, he wondered. Come on, I'll show you out. I panicked, because I missed the chance to spend alone time with Daniel. I was furious. Your Sanctity, did something happen? Daniel asked. Are you sure we can't just play hooky? Play hooky? Daniel laughed. Never mind, I said. There was music playing in the banquet hall. There were plenty of snacks on the tables, ladies in beautiful dresses, and men in fancy suits. Small talk was going on. The emperor, the empress sat on thrones and watched what was going on. Conversations began among the people about that Yewon is late. Poor Daniel. He had to follow in the footsteps of the count and be a babysitter for Yewon. People were discussing the latest rumor with amusement about the prince, Yewon, Lady Beatrice. Also among the rumors was heard about what someone said, that Yewon, under his veil, looks very unattractive because she contracted some disease from a patient. The doors have opened, and the voice introduced. Saint Yewon's Heron and Daniel Kiraran have arrived. All eyes turned to them. The guests could not hide their astonishment, and even the emperor. Daniel and Yewon entered the hall. The following were heard from everywhere: whispered conversations. Why is everyone looking at us like that? And you really don't know? Asked Daniel. All because you're not wearing your veil. This thing, the veil was a feature of Yewon's. I didn't pay attention to it. Will they react to me like this every time? Don't make me laugh, said Daniel. Where did I say something funny? I thought to myself. We approached the Imperial thrones and made a bow. The emperor smiled, then asked to lift our heads. Yewon, how do you feel? I feel so much better, thanks to you, your majesty. Well, welcome, the emperor answered. Meanwhile, the door swung open again, and the same voice said, His Majesty, Prince Jurison Grancha and Lady Beatrice Sagrina have arrived. She's here, I thought. Main story. Encountering suspicious characters at the banquet began. These are the real main characters of this game. If you like the story and you want to know what will be with our hero next chapters, hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel and write in a comment that you want to see the continuation of this story. Thanks for watching and see y'all.